Hello, welcome to the video version of my journal. I'm Stephanie Rivers. If there ever was a case study that supports the need for the new national health care law, it has to be the case against Dr. Kermit Gosnell. He's the Philadelphia general practitioner charged with murder.
Prosecutors say Gosnell performed late-term abortions in his home-based clinic, a procedure for which he was not trained, that caused the death of at least 2 women, and that he often delivered live babies whom he killed by cutting their spinal cords after birth.
It makes my stomach churn just to think about what hundreds of women went through at the hands of Gosnell. Why would these women, mostly poor minorities, risk their lives at Gosnell's clinic? Why did state regulators fail to inspect the clinic since 1993 and fail to investigate the 46 lawsuits filed against the doctor since his clinic opened in 1979? If the women could have afforded safer, better health care, I'm sure they would have sought it. And those state regulators, they didn't think poor minority women were worth their time or their concern. Politicians have created public policies that benefit private industry, from insurance and prescription drugs to the prison industrial complex. When there's money to be made, they have not ignored potential profits. If we are to believe, as reports said, that Gosnell made millions of dollars in his illegal enterprise while putting the health of women at risk, and that state regulators suspected it, yet ignored the loss of state and federal income taxes that probably reached into the tens of thousands of dollars, I can only conclude that they cared less for the safety and well-being of their minority constituents than for their loss of profits. In other words, they would rather lose millions of dollars than to provide adequate health care for millions of disadvantaged people, and that is discrimination at its worst.
According to a recent healthcare report, blacks and Latinos made up nearly half of the estimated 50 million Americans with no access to affordable insurance or health care. Under the Affordable Care Act, 30 million uninsured Americans will get health care coverage.
So why are some politicians fighting tooth and nail against it? They say it will add millions of dollars to the American deficit. But what's a few million dollars added to the already billion-dollar deficit if it will allow everyone cheaper and safer access to health care money? Why are doctors like Gosnell allowed to exist and to profit millions of dollars? Evidently, it's not about the money. If the women and babies harmed by Gosnell were white, he would not have been allowed to operate for so long. He would have been charged with murder at the first complaint filed years ago. State health officials who were questioned for not doing periodic inspections and not investigating those scores of lawsuits should be held accountable. They were paid to do a job and failed miserably at the expense of a generation of new life. To find out more about the things that I care about, go to the written version of my journal. It's at eurweb.com. Thanks and have a super day.